Tesla has got a big secret that they don't want you to know. The Model 3 has some hidden discounts that are absolutely insane right now, making this car cheaper than it's ever been before, but now might also be the worst time to buy one. And there are also some hidden costs that come with a Tesla that many don't know about that you really should before you place that order. So in this video, I'm gonna break down all of it. Let me run the numbers and talk to you about this cheapest Tesla as I've owned it for the last couple months and tell you everything. Let me tell you the good things, let me tell you the bad things. Let me talk to you about some of the secret hidden costs about owning a Tesla that many aren't aware of. Maybe it's not as cheap as you think. Let me tell you everything you need to know about owning the cheapest Tesla. I guess really any Tesla for that matter. And a huge thanks to Recurrent for sponsoring this video. So let me start this video by busting a myth, and that is that Teslas are super expensive vehicles. Yes, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 is nothing to scoff at, but they're certainly not the $100,000 car that many assume the Model 3 is every time they see it rolling down the road. Tesla itself really took off with the S and the X a couple of years ago, and while those cars are still pretty much on the high end at around $100,000 these days, the vast majority of Teslas you see on the road today are not priced anywhere near that. The Model 3 and Model Y are very affordable cars. In fact, they're more affordable now thanks to incentives and price discounts than they've basically ever been before. There's never been a better time to buy a Tesla. So instead of me just talking about it, let's actually run the numbers and let the numbers speak for themselves. Before we factor in gas savings or incentives, tax rebates, anything like that, let's just look at what the Model 3 starts at for the basic rear-wheel drive Model 3. That's going to set you back $40,240. Most would probably assume double that, but no, it's about a $40,000-ish car to get into. And then once you add in incentives, the price drops dramatically more. Now, little disclaimer here, incentives and credits will change based off of your location, income, stuff like that. You can run the specifics for yourself. But generally speaking here, for most people, most places, let me give you an idea of what the current incentives will do for you and the savings it'll bring you for your new Tesla. The first big savings that Tesla is very quick to advertise on their website for all models of the Model 3 and Model Y is going to be that pretty significant $7,500 federal tax credit, which let's just say for simplicity's sake, is going to knock that $40,000-ish price down by $7,500 because that's effectively what it does, now bringing your Model 3 price down to $32,740. Obviously, you can consult a tax pro for specifics, but let's just keep round, simple numbers here and use that as our example moving forward. Now, while the federal incentives are nice, where things get even more interesting and a little bit juicier here, for lack of a better word, is going to be on the state and local incentives, because this is where you can save substantially more money as well. For example, here in the state of California, there's something called the Clean Vehicle Rebate Project, which can give you an additional $2,000 or up to $7,500 off of the car, depending, of course, on your income level, location, stuff like that. And this program has been around for a while, and they'll actually cut you a check. This is not a credit you have to apply for. This isn't a rebate. This is literally the state, after a little bit of processing, sending you a check for upwards of $7,500 to cash and, again, take off the price of this vehicle. And again, there might be other local incentives based off of your city or your county or stuff like that. You can do some research for yourself. But one more incentive to definitely make sure you check for is with your local utility or electric company, because there's also some savings to be had here as well. I know that one of the utility companies in Southern California used to give you a bill credit. Some would give you just a plain old check, like here's some money for buying an EV. Many of them do offer a special rate plan for EVs, so you can save more money by getting a cheaper power bill if you charge during certain times, like usually between, 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. But another example here is just getting other free things. So with LADWP, they're going to actually give you a credit for the install of a level 2 charger at your home. You're looking at up to $1,500 off a level 2 charger. So while it doesn't take off the price of the car necessarily, you are going to want a charger at home, and going through this program and you buy the qualifying one, basically is going to give you the charger at your house totally for free. Now, obviously, Tesla is very quick to point out gas savings as well. They spread it out over a period of 6 years on their website. And while this is significant, I'll come back to it more in a moment because it's, again, going to depend on how much you drive and where you are and stuff like that. But even putting that to the side for a moment, with these incentives now in place, you're looking at getting your own brand new Tesla, the base model, for about $30,000. And the next question you may have is, well, what kind of Tesla am I getting? Is this a good model or is it a bad model? Well, this is the rear-wheel drive Model 3. It's basically the standard range model that they've removed that wording these days. It's called the rear-wheel drive Model 3. Comes with a range of 272 miles, and you can configure it in different color options or wheel options if you prefer. You could change out the seats for white inside. You could add full self-driving, but let's just say, again, for the sake of simplicity, you're going basic. You're going with one of the free colors. You're sticking with the Aero wheels, no FSD, black interior, still a great car, and this is the model you're going for about $30,000. The big question is, what kind of car are you getting? And I've actually owned this car for the past 7 months, basically. Maybe a little longer than that. Actually, it's been about 9 months now. I've driven this car extensively. I'm in it almost every day. And after about 9 months with this baby, I've got some thoughts. So I've done more in-depth videos on this car in the past, but for the sake of simplicity, and since this video is already getting long in the tooth, let me give you the top 3 things I love and 3 things I hate about this car that you are actually going to care about. The first is that this car shares the exact same design, same interior, same screen, same software, same cameras as the higher end long range and performance versions. So that is super cool to see. If you didn't know to look for the special Tesla branding, and if you don't have a third-party carbon fiber spoiler like I do have on here, you would know this was a rear-wheel drive base cheap Tesla model. So that is something to consider. Now, whether you are a brand new Tesla owner or you've owned your car for a while, or if you're about to make the plunge into the world of Tesla, no matter where you are in your EV journey, I want you to do something right now for me, and that is click the link down below and check out Recurrent. They are an amazing company in this space doing so many incredible things, and one of my favorite offerings from them is this totally free monthly battery report, where in like 30 seconds you can sign up for a totally free account, you connect your Tesla to the service, and then every single month you're going to get this amazing battery recap delivered to your inbox, full of so much data, so many awesome features, and just a really great amount of data to give you some insights into the health of your EV's battery. And even if you've heard of Recurrent before, you have not heard the full story, because the battery report has now been refreshed with some incredible new insights built in. Not only can I still obviously see my Recurrent range score, I can see things like my expected range in 3 years, my car's estimated value, which has taken a bit of a hit since I got it, for lack of a better word. But also there are some wonderful new pieces of data built in here as well that I want to highlight. Like right under the estimated value, I can now see that my custom Recurrent range score could earn me some extra value when I go to sell my car. And in a couple of simple clicks, Recurrent can make this really easy. They can get me connected with a special network of dealers who really understand the importance of EVs and a healthy battery, and I could potentially earn more money just with a couple of simple clicks and because of the health of my battery. I also love the section with real world range. Recurrent is using thousands of observations from other similar vehicles, so Model Ys in my case, to predict my most likely driving distance between full charges based on my local weather conditions. It's in beta, but it's a really cool new feature here. I can also see how my vehicle stacks up to others in the Recurrent fleet. I can see my current charging habits and an awesome dedicated card showing how my range changes based off of local weather conditions, so I can see how cooler or warmer weather is going to affect the range in my EV. Also, one last Recurrent feature that I really love, totally free on their site, on their homepage in fact, is a tool that lets you check the VIN of the EV you're looking to buy, and it'll tell you if it's going to qualify for any of those juicy federal tax incentives. So if you want to save some money, pop that VIN on the Recurrent website, and they're going to do all the hard work for you and tell you what incentives that EV is going to qualify for. So obviously, if you couldn't tell, I'm a huge Recurrent fan. I love what the company is doing. They're doing so many amazing things in this space, and whether you are an all-new EV owner looking to really dive deep into this data, or if you're a current EV owner looking to sell, Recurrent has got you covered with these amazing solutions, and this totally free monthly battery report is awesome. I love getting these recaps to my inbox every single month. Recurrent is awesome. I love them, and I know you guys will love them as well. So if you want to learn more and check them out for yourself today and sign up for this totally free monthly battery report, hit the link right down below in the description to check it out. Sign up for yourself today. It takes like 10 seconds. And again, it's totally 100% free. So check it out for yourself today. Hit the link right down below in the description. Same on the inside as well. You're getting the exact same seats. You have the exact same color options. You can go, let me turn on the music here, that you can configure online. If you want red, if you want blue, you can go with that. You're going to get some different wheels with the performance version, but you do have those options here on this model, which is really cool to see. Also, you have the full self-driving capabilities and autopilot here as well. So Tesla isn't locking down different things, or, oh, this car doesn't have good cameras or doesn't have this or that. It's the same system. You're getting the exact same touchscreen in here. You're getting the same autopilot and full self-driving stuff. That is just really cool to see in this car. Something other auto manufacturers don't do, and something I really commend Tesla for. So qualities are good here, the tech is good, and also I should say performance and range are very good. This is as the name suggests, a rear-wheel drive only Model 3, so you only have one motor as opposed to two in the other variations, but there's some pep in this thing's step, so to speak. It's very peppy. It's got great performance. It's going to throw you back in your seat, especially if this is your first EV. You're going to get that instant torque. You've got the nice quality of life features like regen braking and pretty good range as well. I remember back just a couple years ago, standard range from Tesla was like 230 miles. So now that you're looking at like 270 miles and an LFP-based battery, which means you can charge to 100% safely, that is very cool to see. A lot of great things to love about this car, but three big things here that I love and appreciate about this car is you're getting basically the exact same higher end experience of a car double the price for a car now that's about $30,000. But with all that said, there are three things I don't like about this car as well that you should know, and especially after living with the car for a couple of months, I'll tell you they are super annoying. One is that Tesla does not have certain things on this base car, and those things don't make sense. For example, the car doesn't come with floor mats. You're gonna have to get your own. You're gonna just get basically the standard carpet. That's what the car comes with in the front, in the back, everywhere. You're not getting any sort of floor mat. So it's BYOM in that situation. Bring your own mats because they don't come with any, which is sort of weird. You're also missing things like there's no fog lights on the front. You're missing some of the interior lighting. Tesla has chosen to cut costs in very interesting ways I certainly don't agree on. Obviously, it is still super nice that you've got the full screen and they didn't downsize this or the speed or anything, but not having floor mats in the car is a little ridiculous and something I really do not appreciate. Also, since we're in here, the other thing we should talk about, one of the big differences with this car is the sound system. This has a sort of standard sound system where every other Tesla that the company sells has a premium sound system. So the sound is very front heavy. There is no subwoofer dedicated in this car. It's also missing amplifiers, so a lot of the speakers in the back there don't work. I don't believe these speakers work as well. At least that was the case not too long ago. So the speaker system you're gonna have is here. Still sounds pretty good, but if you do like a lot of bass or you're really into music, just understand that you're not going to get the full Tesla premium audio experience that you'd find in other cars. Still sounds very good, but something you are going to miss in this car. And as I jump out here, the last thing I should mention, sort of the con on this car, is really the design of the Model 3 as a whole, because, spoiler alert, a new refresh model is coming soon with some pretty big changes. It's going to have hardware 4, it's going to have a new interior, the stalks are going to be ditched by the wheel. See those stalks right there? Those are going to go away for touch-sensitive buttons. We're going to get a new steering wheel. We're going to get the wood trim. This is going to go away for something that looks a little bit more modern. We're going to get a new front end. We're going to get a new back end. It's going to be a little bit longer. Some big changes are coming to this car, which is just sort of a downside now, because as great as this is and as great as the current incentives are, do keep in mind that a new model is coming in like a couple of weeks from now that will be significantly different. Basically the biggest change we've seen to the Model 3. Still a wonderful car, still an amazing value right now, especially when you add in those incentives. But I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't say, don't like the way Tesla cheaps out on certain things, and there is a brand new model coming that will totally replace this one and be better in almost every single way, at least according to most, and I guess sort of depends on how you feel about those physical stalks by the steering wheel mostly. So now that you know about the car and the savings, what are some of the other hidden costs about owning a Tesla that you need to know about? For starters, in addition to local taxes, delivery fee, transport fee, stuff like that, Tesla charges a non-refundable order fee of $250. This used to apply to the order itself, but now it no longer does. You don't have to sit in a dealership and haggle with someone. The price on the website is what you're going to pay, but there is also this order fee as well. So if you go through with the car, you're paying $250. If you don't decide to go with it, you're basically out $250. Not a huge deal, all things considered, with this car, but just something you probably want to know. The second fee that many may not even think about or realize comes with the Tesla is its data plan. Tesla calls this premium connectivity. You basically get 1 month for free, but after that, you're going to have to start to pay. And premium connectivity is basically other words for the car's data plan. It's its internet connection and it's smart. So it powers everything from music streaming, satellite maps, live traffic visualization, being able to see the car's camera from your mobile phone app. All that stuff is run through premium connectivity, which is going to run you $10 a month or $100 a year if you pay 12 months up front. Now, the good news here is that you can pay for this on a monthly basis. So if you're not doing a bunch of music streaming or you're just using Bluetooth, you cannot pay for it when you don't need it and pay for it the month you do need it. You can cancel and resubscribe at any time. And also, you are able to regain most of the functionality by using your car's, or I should say your phone rather, built-in hotspot. So if you do turn on the wireless hotspot on your phone, you connect your car, you can get a lot of the features that way. Not every feature is going to work that way, but most of it will if you don't want to deal with the data plan. But I will say that it is very convenient to have just to get in the car. You most of the time have service. It's going to work. You can stream your music. You've got the Stitcher and the TuneIn and all the other media options. You can stream your Tesla Theater, for example, as well, wherever you are. In my opinion, it is very well worth that $100 a year or $10 a month, especially since you can cancel and resubscribe for any reason or any time. But for those who don't want it, if you just want to stream, Bluetooth from your phone and you don't need fancy maps or anything like that, you don't necessarily have to pay for it, though you probably are going to want it. Insurance is one of those other sort of hidden costs with this car as well. Obviously, there's a lot of variables here at play. There's things like location, your driving record, coverage, and stuff like that. I should also mention that Tesla is continuing to roll out their own insurance policy program called Tesla Insurance that I've heard very mixed things about. Some people have had a flawless experience with Tesla Insurance, some people not so much. I, for my Model Y, am not with Tesla Insurance, but my wife, with her Model 3, this vehicle I showed off in this video, is on an insurance policy through Tesla Insurance. I think it's about $170 a month, give or take, and she has a really clean driving record, no issues, anything like that. She's got decent coverage, and that's just sort of the basic kind of coverage of what it is. So there's a data point for you, but your insurance is obviously going to be a cost no matter where you are, and Tesla's might be a little bit higher to insure, but again, that's going to come down to where you are, location, driving record, stuff like that. But at least here in Southern California, for a totally clean driving record and I think just sort of basic coverage, about $170 a month for that Model 3. Obviously, one of the other big considerations when it comes to how much you're going to save with an EV and hidden costs is, well, what is the cost to charge the car? Now, charging at superchargers is very convenient, but those prices have started to steadily creep up all around the world. Not as bad as gasoline prices, but certainly not as cheap as they used to be unless you have sort of referral miles or free unlimited supercharging or stuff like that. But the other more important thing is like local charging. Level 2 charging with ChargePoint is usually a couple of bucks. Sometimes there are free stations you can find, like Volta, for example, so that's going to vary. But probably one of the bigger sort of areas you're going to want to focus on is home charging. How much does it cost to get a charger installed, and how much are you going to pay? Now, charging your EV at home is one of the most convenient things about owning an EV, but you also have to factor in the cost of getting a charger installed. You could go with the Tesla wall connector. That's a perfectly great way to go. There are other third-party stations you can go with as well in your home if you want a little bit more flexibility and control. I have a station from a company called Flow. There's also Autel that makes some stuff. There's a lot of different companies that make chargers in this space, many you can consider. And I hate to be sort of a broken record here, but again, it is going to depend on where you are, where your electrical breaker box is, sort of the length of the run, stuff like that. There's a lot of areas to consider here. I think if you're looking for the cheapest way to charge at home, I'd get a NEMO 1450 plug installed because that's going to give you sort of the full power. If you want a little bit more power, you can go with the Tesla wall connector, but that's going to run you at least a couple $100 just to get that installed. Though I will say, once you have a reliable and fast way to charge at home, it is a game changer. It eliminates range anxiety. It eliminates having to go to the gas station. Having a way to charge your car speedily at home is a game changer, and I do think it's worth the investment. Yes, it's going to be a couple $100, maybe $1,000, depending on your situation, your location, rather to get that installed, but I do think it's going to be worth it. I don't exactly remember how much the cost was for my Flow charger downstairs, but I think it was a couple $100 to get it installed on the wall directly opposite from the main breaker box for the house. And in terms of how much it's going to cost to charge your car, again, it's going to depend on your local utility company and stuff like that. But I'll give you some ideas here for me. I'm not a huge driver, but I'll just sort of show you my numbers here. For the last year, so about 2,700-ish kilowatt hours, I spent about $584 to charge my Model Y here at home. For the Model 3 for my wife, about $219 over the last 12 months. So under $1,000, pretty much well under $1,000 for an all EV household, driving about 10,000-ish miles a year between the two cars. Again, you can run your own numbers. I try to generally charge at off hours to get that lower rate, though I am in Southern California, so prices for electricity is still pretty crazy. I charge usually once or twice a week, sort of getting it near full, and that's what it's going to cost. It's obviously going to be significantly cheaper than gas. Usually it's $20 or $30 a month on my bill that I actually notice, but these are where you're going to get some significant savings over any other, ICE car on the road. So I am curious, what are your thoughts on this? For many Tesla owners that I have watching this video, let me know down below your ownership cost experience, your cost in terms of charging and getting chargers installed. Do you pay for any Tesla add-ons or premium connectivity insurance? Let me know if you were surprised or disappointed by some of the costs associated with your car down below. And then for potential Tesla owners, this is a great resource. Use the comments down below to ask questions. Talk to the hundreds, if not really, now we've got tens of thousands of EV owners watching these videos. Ask their questions down below. We can do our best to answer questions in terms of incentives and how to save even more money, what rebates to look into, how to save on charging costs at home and installs. Let us know down below in the comments. We can discuss this and sort of help each other out as we go. If you made it through this far in the video, number one, thank you very much. Number two, drop a thumbs up in the comments down below. Like this video, drop a thumbs up down below. Really does help the video out a lot, and I will tell you, it honestly makes my day. Every time I see the flood of emojis in the comments from people who watched the entire way of the video, my heart is warmed, and I'm honestly just genuinely thankful for you guys, and to think that you'd watch a video with me talking, sometimes rambling, just really I really appreciate it. So thank you so much for your support. I see a lot of you guys commenting every video. Means the world to me. Thank you so much. As always, I appreciate it, and as always, I'm Robert Rosenfeld, and I'll see you guys in the next one.